one of the newcomers working the lines with Gord Rossiter. Pure played in 59 games last year with a record of 23, 26, and 6. 3.83 goals against average. Canadians handling the puck. Walter taking the pass from Courtnall, steps over the line. Muni chasing him into the corner for the Oilers. Courtnall in after a loose puck, can't center it. Now Russ Courtnall comes out in front, it's knocked loose. Walter with a man wide open, and Carbonneau can't stop it by Pure. What a chance as Carbonneau slipped between the Montreal defense, and the Edmonton defense, and couldn't beat Pure. Now the Canadians set up back in their own territory. Russ Courtnall with the pass to Ryan Walter, shovels it up along the boards, and back goes Messier. Carbonneau, Courtnall, and Walter for the Canadians. Simpson with Anderson and Messier for Edmonton.
Teams love to get a good start. What a nice start that would have been for the Montreal Canadiens. A big mistake by Edmonton defensively.
Here's Peter Eriksson in forechecking now for Edmonton. Carbonneau tying him up. The puck went loose, and Ryan Walter recovered. He has Richer moving up with him as he elected to dump it on into the Edmonton zone, and Kevin Lowe is back. Lowe has not played since Tuesday night when he was injured late in that game with the New York Islanders. Mark Lamb shoots one off left wing. It's knocked out of the air, then covered by Brian Hayward.
Hayward looking a little jumpy. First shot from the Edmonton Oilers, a hard one, a high one. Mark Lamb letting it go off the left wing position. See Hayward now, he was motioning to one of his defensemen that the puck seemed to lose sight of it. He lost the sight of it for a moment. Put his hand actually in front of his face to make the save, and that would also add to him not being able to see. Grant Pure seeing his first NHL game of the season.
Mentioned that Pure played in 59 games last season. That wasn't the most by any National Hockey League goaltender. Ron Hextall at Philadelphia made 64 appearances. John Burke with the Devils played in 62 games. Now here's Richer bringing the puck out. They've given it to Corson, and the Canadians get over the Edmonton line. Corson drops it, and Svoboda's shot fluttered wide of the net. Here's Corson. Richer in front, can't backhand it behind Pure. The puck went to Curry. Sorry, Curry's pass intended for Lamb is tipped. Cleared out of the Montreal territory by Sean Lefebvre. Richer comes over center. Shoots from the blue line, and Kevin Lowe dropped to his knees to block it.
That same kind of a play that he got hurt in against the Islanders last Tuesday. He was down trying to block a shot when he was run over.
And he's hurting again now. He's taken the glove off his right hand as he went back to the player's bench, and Courtnall puts one on target. Steve Smith back in the Edmonton lineup this evening. Gave the puck to Curry. Cross-ice pass. Bookberger comes over the line. Tried to center one to Messier, but it was off the mark. Now Messier feeds it back to the blue line. Steve Smith puts it in the corner. Bookberger knocked down in the play. That's Messier as he went back to the net. Couldn't center the puck. Oiler captain picked it up. Couldn't get it to Bookberger. Charlie Huddy races back on the Edmonton defense as Ryan Walter moves in now. Forechecking for Montreal. There is no score. We're 2.5 minutes into the opening period. This is Kevin McClellan. He dumps it into the Canadian zone. It's recovered by J.J. Daigneault. Daigneault overled Courtnall. He gets to it now, however. Russ Courtnall steps across the line. The screen forms, and then he shot it wide. This is Charlie Huddy. Huddy's pass goes to Messier. Laid it up right wing, but out of the reach of McClellan, and Lumet back in the Montreal defense gave it to Daigneault. Now to Walter. It's from center ice. Pure got a piece of that. It's recovered by Steve Smith. Smith suffered a broken bone in his foot. Very first game of the season. Sporadic play, but in and out of the lineup. Says he's feeling much better coming into tonight's game. And here's Svoboda for Montreal. Sidestep one check. Peter Svoboda handling it neatly. 23-year-old defenseman dropped it to Naslin, and his shot is blocked by Muni, who covers and gets a face-off.
Craig Muni being assisted to over at the Edmonton Oiler bench. He went down, blocked a shot. Much similar to Kevin Lowe, and he now goes off with a hand hurting. Defenseman, where do you put your hands when you go down to block? Instinctively, they put their hands down with the palms out. There's no protection. That's the only place in the gloves where there's no protection. 9 times out of 10, that's where the puck will end up hitting you in the palm of the hand.
Lowe is back out on the ice. Teamed up on defense here now with Bookerboom. This is Matt Naslin taking the puck across the Edmonton line. He had Keane headed for the front of the net. Placed it to the corner for Bobby Smith. Batters knocked away from Keene, and Norman Lacombe can't clear the zone for the Oilers. Here's Smith. Bobby Smith hits it to the backhand, gets in a little too deep. Now the Edmonton goal is off the hinges. Good puck handling by Bobby Smith, who's just back into the lineup tonight, but a lot of people aren't eligible to play because of injury problems.
Players not in the lineup. Eldon Reddick, of course. He's now the third goaltender. Tikkanen, Trevor Sim, Randy Gregg with a groin injury, Mike Ware, Norm McIver, all out for the Edmonton Oilers. For the Montreal Canadiens, Desjardins, Jaworski, Claude Lemieux, Dufresne, McPhee, and Brian Skrudland, all out of the lineup for assorted injuries or scratches.
Canadians had hoped that Brian Skrudland would be back by tonight. I guess it was Skrudland, actually, who hoped he'd be back. The Canadians medical staff said they knew that it was going to be at least 3 weeks. So his return has been pushed back as an ankle injury. Anderson and Simpson up front for the Oilers, along with Messier, and they'll pick up the puck from Grant Fuhr. Smith and Huddy, the defense combination for the Oilers, as we watch Messier hold it back from the forechecking of Carbonneau. And Huddy moves it up to Glenn Anderson. His shot went off Ludwig. Huddy puts it right through the goal mouth off the pads of Hayward, and then the second shot is deflected back of the net. Out comes Glenn Anderson. The puck knocked off his stick, went to Smith. Into Messier. Centers. Greg Simpson in traffic, can't get it away. Chelios was right in his hip pocket. This is Russ Courtnall sending Chelios to the Edmonton line. Back to Courtnall. He tips it to the blue line, but there's nobody there. And up comes Messier. On to Anderson. Off right wing, shifts in front, shoots, hits the outside of the net.
Good move by Anderson. He just wanted a little better position to shoot from, and he was able to gain it in front of Ludwig.
Now Chelios makes the pass to Ludwig. Up to Courtnall. He's checked in the center ice area. Down right wing, Mark Lamb for Edmonton. Lamb centers through the skates of Curry, now backhanding it wide of the net, and it's recovered by Walter. Ryan Walter knocked off the puck by Mark Lamb. This is Jeff Smith, the rookie Edmonton defenseman, with a pass to Lamb. Lamb waits and dumps one in. Hayward leaves it back in the net for Chelios. Curry into forecheck, knocked it off his stick. Recovering is Peter Svoboda, and he's given it to Shane Corson. Corson's pass into the skates of Curry. Now Erickson plays it back into his own zone out of the reach of Craig Muniz. The Fuhr comes out to handle it. He's given it to Curry. His pass picked off. This is the rookie, Stefan Lebeau, goes cross ice. Lefebvre with a shot. Fuhr the save, and there's no further play.
Probably the hardest shot he's had to face so far. Grant Fuhr in goal for the Edmonton Oilers. The play reshakes to LeBeau, and there's his shot. Comes in. Grant Fuhr was partially screened. He was able to get his glove on it at the last minute. A hard rising shot picked off by Grant Fuhr.
He is back, safe to say, after watching him make a couple of early saves. The Canadians out shooting Edmonton, by the way, 3-2. Greg McTavish makes the play to the left side. Martin Jelena for Edmonton. Chased into the corner boards by Lefebvre. Now Lacombe comes in after the puck. Can't get it to the stick of Lowe. Richer is checked. And here is Jelena. He put it off the goalpost. He had Hayward beaten on the stick side, but he couldn't get it by the goalpost.
Mistake again, Montreal. This time it's Edmonton.
And it's Richer setting it up in front of the net. LeBeau gets knocked down. Play is allowed to continue. McTavish sends Lacombe over center. Crisscrossing with Jelena. And Lacombe is poke-checked by Svoboda. Rookaboom picking it up at the Edmonton line. Gave it to Lowe. Now to McTavish. Greg McTavish moves in. Shot it off Lefebvre. It went right to Jelena for the shot. He scores! Martin Jelena returns to the province of Quebec, where he was a junior star, and gives the Oilers a 1-0 lead.
He had a good scoring opportunity a moment ago. Montreal making a defensive lapse, and he gets a chance, puts it off the goalpost. Here, Montreal backing in. They're backing in. Edmonton keep coming forward. Jelena with a low shot to the right of the goaltender, Brian Hayward. A 1-0 lead. Edmonton, in their fifth straight road game, take a 1-0 lead. Jelena with a low shot. Was not a hard shot, but it was in the right place. And a big 1-0 lead for the Edmonton Oilers.
Jelena getting his fourth goal of the season. It scored at the 6:43 mark. McTavish will get one of the assists. Kevin Lowe the other. So it's 1-0 Edmonton as Gilchrist puts the puck in the Oilers' zone. Fuhr with it back in the net. Played it away from Gilchrist. Went to the opposite side of the ice, actually, and now it's shot out of there by Steve Smith. This is Lume giving it to J.J. Daigneault on the Canadiens' defense. Daigneault to Gilchrist. Couldn't set up Jocelyn Lemieux in time, and now Steve Smith plays it back in the net. Huddy moves it up to Dave Brown, the former Philadelphia Flyer. It's over center ice. Got it wide of Hayward. In after it is Bookberger, and he put it right on target. It's covered by Hayward, and there's no further play. With the score, the Oilers 1, the Canadiens nothing. Let's pause for a regional break. Falling behind as they have isn't unusual for the Canadiens this season. They don't seem to get off to good starts, according to Coach Pat Burns.
No, they have not, but they're back in. One of the reasons they're backing in, Edmonton is outskating them, one, but two, the defense keep backing in. Edmonton's had some scoring opportunities just from the defense of Montreal, allowing the forwards of Edmonton that extra room.
Now Ludwig and Chelios together in the Canadiens' defense. That was Ludwig putting the puck on Courtnall's stick, and then he was checked. Steve Smith knocks it away, and Messier recovers for Edmonton. Plays it around Russ Courtnall. Now Steve Smith goes up the left wing with the pass. Relayed by Simpson to Anderson. Anderson taken out by Chelios. Chelios turns it over. Steve Smith, however, had his shot blocked, and up comes Carbonneau. 2-on-2 with Ryan Walter. They play it around Muni to Walter. Back to Carbonneau, and it's scooped up and held by Fuhr. Didn't hold it long enough to get a whistle, however. Anderson tips it back to Mark Messier. Dumps one down into the Montreal zone. Edmonton in the middle of the player change. Here's Chris Chelios starting up left wing. Into center ice. Lost it to Bookeboom covering the Edmonton blue line, and Naslund feeds it back in for Lume. Sergei Lume using the board, dumps it out to center ice, and Bookeboom just shoots it right back in again.
Not a lot of continuity, particularly on the side of Montreal. We saw Chelios a moment ago just hand the puck away. Unusual for him.
Now Bobby Smith gets into the Edmonton zone, and Keane tips his pass wide of the net. Recovered by Matt Naslund. Put it behind the goal. There's Big Erickson for Edmonton, their 24-year-old rookie, giving it to Mark Lamb. Played it down through center ice. Curry chases it. Back goes Lume. Lume left it for Daigneault, and right away Lamb slams into him. The puck, however, went to Lume, and the Canadiens are having trouble getting out of their own end of the ice here. J.J. Daigneault takes a little time, moves it to Naslund, but immediately Curry and Erickson were right in his face. Now Naslund comes down the left side. Bookeboom rubs him out on the board. Keane and Lowe end up on the end boards together. Messier playing the puck through some skates, but right to Naslund, to Bobby Smith. Smith trying to find somebody in front center. There's Naslund, and he shot it off Fuhr. Racing it after it is Daigneault. Back of the net now to Smith. Lowe ties him up. Smith shakes the check, however. Then Bookeboom reached in to knock it away. Keane sets up Smith. Couldn't shoot it from that sharp angle. Mike Keane battling Lowe, and it's Keane controlling the puck. Back to Daigneault at the right point. Into Smith. Smith plays it back of the net. Nobody there for the Canadiens, and here's Kevin Lowe. 1-0, Edmonton in front. Through center ice is Bookberger. Shoots from the blue line. Hayward down early, made the stop, and Bookberger recovers his rebound and plays it to the opposite side of the ice. Messier tied up there by Peterson. Lume digs the puck loose. Lume around to Jocelyn Lemieux. Now to Brent Gilchrist. Taken out at the blue line, and Messier recovers back of the Edmonton goal. In comes Lemieux. Messier, neat move to sidestep that check. Oilers feed it up to Kevin McClelland at center ice. He banks one off Svoboda. The puck loose. McClelland after it. McClelland on the backhand. Shoots. Hayward the save. And the puck is knocked away from him. Simpson deals it off. Waiting behind the net is McClelland to McTavish for a shot that's just deflected wide of the net. Edmonton pressuring as Huddy holds it in at the right point. Dumps it around behind the net. Svoboda in a collision with his goalkeeper Hayward. The Canadiens able to recover and have cleared the zone. Oilers dropping Steve Smith back on defense now. He recovers the puck at his own blue line and steps over center. Moves it up smartly to Jelena. Jelena runs into Lefebvre, and there's Carbonneau. He's hit by Lacombe, but he's able to move the puck around to Svoboda. 8.5 minutes to play in the opening period as Svoboda puts it in the Edmonton zone. Steve Smith being tied up. Carbonneau kicking at the puck. Now Corson comes in and digs it loose. Gave it to Guy Carbonneau. Carbonneau trying to shake Steve Smith. Riche took it, but couldn't get out in front of the net. Here the Oilers clearing it to the blue line where Carbonneau knocks it down, but it went right back to Smith.
Only success that the Montreal team has been able to generate is down deep in the Edmonton end of the ice.
There's Lacombe with a shot off the pads of Hayward, and then McTavish, just put the rebound wide of the net. Oilers with several good scoring opportunities in this early first period action.
As I pointed out, Montreal keep backing in, allowing Edmonton a lot of room.
Now Richer at the other end of the ice shot one off rookie defenseman Jeff Smith, and he's limping a little bit. Meantime, it's Messier coming down the left side. 3 Canadians drop back. Messier leaves the puck. Anderson blows around Carbonneau. He shoots, put it over the crossbar. Comes to the near wing. Muni couldn't handle it, and Richer comes down the left side. Jeff Smith trying to cut him off. Richer turns, held the puck, and couldn't get it to Carbonneau. This is Glenn Anderson for the Oilers. Over the center ice stripe, on into the Montreal zone. Then his play broken up, and as it came right back to him, it's offside. It's the Oilers 1, the Canadians nothing.
Here's an example of the attack. Edmonton with a shot, rebound. McTavish in close, couldn't control it, but the puck bounced off his chest, rolled just wide of the goalpost, pointing out that Montreal continue to back up. Edmonton is out skating them, they're out hustling them. One of the things Edmonton is also doing is they're sending the defensemen down the boards, pinching in. That seems to be upsetting the passing pattern of Montreal, trying to come out of their own end of the ice.
Now Carbonneau takes the turn, or Naslund, got it to the line, and the Oilers shoot it back in. Looking at the Edmonton Oilers in this first period, the way they're skating sort of belies the line that their coach, John Buckler, has been telling everybody recently, that his Oiler team just doesn't have the speed at 110.
Well, when you're looking at players like Anderson, who probably had his worst season last year and now seems to be geared up and skating, Messier always seems to just float around, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean, he just doesn't put any effort into his skating, it seems. He just can do everything at so many different speeds, but they do have some good speed. Probably collectively, they're not supposed to be as fast a skating team as Montreal, but right now they're not. They're just proving that.
Here's Lume taking Smith's pass, walks right in, and Fuhr got the blocking glove on it. The puck goes out of play.
Lume with a good scoring opportunity. 3 good stops in the game so far for Grant Fuhr. Here's the drop pass. He skates in, he looks, head up and fires it, looking for the top right-hand corner. Just before getting run over, Grant Fuhr makes a blocking glove save.
Now McTavish against LeBeau on this face-off. It's won by Edmonton. Steve Smith plays it up the wing. Out of the reach is Jelena. Seemed to turn away from it, and Lefebvre overshot it at the center ice stripe. Back goes Martin Jelena. He has the only goal of the game. Jelena, number 20, out there with Lacombe and McTavish. Lefebvre for the Canadians. Turned it over at center ice, and Charlie Huddy slapped one high and just wide of the Canadians' goal. Lacombe failed to pick it up in his skate. It's Richer moving it on into the center ice area for LeBeau to Corson on left wing. That's LeBeau coming late, but couldn't get the puck to him. Corson battling Huddy for it. Richer is there as well. So is Craig McTavish of the Oilers. Referee Andy Van Hellemond determining that the puck is still loose. He can see it. So can the Oiler players, and McTavish finally kicked it to Steve Smith.
Not once did Van Hellemond make a motion to blow the whistle.
Right wing pass to Lacombe as the Oilers move in. Tapped it off the boards to McTavish, but Richer stepped in front of him neatly. Richer out to center ice for Shane Corson. Corson across the line with LeBeau. LeBeau taken into the corner by Jelena, and here's Jeff Smith. Got the puck to Muni. Now to Lacombe. Norman Lacombe is checked at center ice by Peterson. And the puck ends up in the thick of Bookberger, and the Oilers set up at their own blue line. Bookberger through center ice, backhands it into the Montreal territory. Daniel is there. J.J. Daniel. Yorkie Lume, and now to center ice for Brent Gilchrist. He's over the Edmonton line, but the puck knocked loose. Goes to Peterson. Can't make the play. Now picks it up and put it off the pads of Grant Fuhr.
Jeff Smith making a big mistake there. He's playing the puck instead of the man.
Peterson getting an opportunity to play. Steve Martinson having been sent back to the Canadian farm team at Sherbrooke this week. The puck is deflected out of play right into the Montreal players' bench.
Both teams having problems in their own end of the ice. Consistently, Edmonton has had defensemen running around in their end of the ice, and at the other end, Montreal keeps backing in. Interesting to see anybody takes over the center ice area and really puts on a concerted effort. A lot of constant pressure.
Both teams played last night. Montreal winning at home 5-1 over Pittsburgh. Edmonton was in Quebec last night where they won 6-3. Here's Ryan Walter for the Canadiens. Doubled the puck to Courtnall on left wing. He shoots up wide of the net. Chelios off the right point. Slaps it in behind the goal to Walter. Kevin Lowe is there. Now Courtnall comes in, has given it to Guy Carbonneau. To Courtnall. Bookboom picks up the check. Puck went to Walter, and he can't center it out in front. This is Courtnall. Bookboom turns him around. Courtnall turned it over to Messier. Goes right back to Chelios, who started to pinch in. Then he runs into a check from Simpson and Messier. Greg Simpson can't get around Walter, however. Chelios plays it to the corner. Lowe got a stick on it, but it went to Carbonneau, then off his stick and right to Messier. Mark Messier through center ice. Dumps one in wide on the stick side of Hayward. Brian Hayward just played it off the glass and managed to get it to Courtnall. He rolls it out into the center ice zone. Messier waiting. Cross ice pass. Not a good idea. Svoboda was moving up, but couldn't control it. Now Simpson knocks it loose, but right to Chelios. Keane with a pass through center ice. Nothing happening in that center ice area for either team at the moment.
Well, they're really blocking it up. It's got clogged arteries right now, and nobody's going anywhere. There is no flow.
Huddy taking that cross ice pass, gives it to Lamb. Mark Lamb unloads. Hayward knocked it down. The puck loose on the rebound as the Canadiens' defense tightened up. Here's Huddy from the point. His shot is deflected to Bobby Smith. Turned it over to Yari Curry. In front it goes to Lamb, and he's bumped solidly. Keane stepping into him. Curry feeds it to Lamb. Lamb pulling it away from Craig Ludwig. Comes out of the corner, then turns, shoots, he scores! Mark Lamb. It's 2-0 Edmonton.
Hayward has looked a little shaky on a couple of long shots, that time groping, looking in the wrong direction as Mark Lamb, fires it over his left shoulder into the top right-hand corner. Here Lamb turns. You can see the body of Hayward move away from the goalpost, and that's exactly where Lamb shot it, into the top shelf. Here another look at ice level, or from ice level, as the puck goes into the net. A 2-0 lead. Mark Lamb with a well-placed shot. Big lift for Edmonton. 2 minutes and 44 seconds remaining in the first period, and a 2-0 lead.
Nobody went to Lamb. He was allowed to walk out of the corner. Top shelf, as you say, a second goal of the season, coming at 16 minutes, 16 seconds in the opening period. 2-0 Edmonton. Right back in the Montreal zone. Curry waiting for it here on right wing, but it's played away from him onto the stick of Naslund. He and Keane step over the line. Naslund lost his balance, still managed to play it out of the corner, then it went right back to him. Naslund from back of the net now. Backhand shot, they score! Bobby Smith. Naslund came out.
I believe it's going to be Naslund's goal. Bobby Smith immediately pointed toward Naslund to make sure everybody knew that he did not deflect it. He was standing in front, almost in the goal crease, in front of Grant Fuhr. Naslund steals the puck here, races behind the net. Smith will head for the front of the net. There's the play in front. I believe it went off the Edmonton Oilers defenseman. Smith with his arm in the air, then he'll drop it and point toward Naslund. If that was the gesture signaling it was Naslund's goal, may have been just that it was his play that created the opportunity.
That's Naslund, who will celebrate a birthday on Tuesday, Halloween. It's a goal for the Canadiens. Only his second goal of the season, but it makes the score 2-1. Edmonton with a lead here, but Jocelyn Lemieux has the puck. Fell as he tried to shoot it. Peterson gets it right back to Lemieux. Puts it around behind the Edmonton goal. Picked up by Jelena. Then he runs into a check from Gilchrist. The Oilers floated out through the center ice area, and with a minute and a half to go in the first period, Svoboda dropped back. Overled Gilchrist in the center ice zone, however. Oilers quick to make the play to McTavish, trying to catch Montreal in the change, but a good play by Svoboda broke that up. This is Peterson with a pass to Carbonneau, and he's checked right at the Edmonton blue line. Jeff Bookeboom for Edmonton. Steps over center ice and dumps it in off the hand of Chelios and right to Hayward. Now the Montreal captain gives it to Walter. Out to Russ Portnoy. Steps over the line. Right back to Walter. He shoots. That's deflected by Bookeboom. Centered in front again. They score! Ryan Walter!
The Montreal fans have had not much to cheer about, but here quickly, with Naslund getting his second, Ryan Walter has tied the score at 2 apiece. Taking a pass from in the corner. There's the play. Walter deflected it. It just got over the outstretched right pad of Grant Fuhr. There's the play by Walter. The shot wide. There's the pass in front. He deflects it off the heel of his stick in behind Fuhr, and it's a 2-2 tie. Ryan Walter tying the game.
Just when you thought the Edmonton Oilers were coasting, cruising, back come the Canadians with goals first by Naslund and then by Ryan Walter, each with their second of the season, and it's 2-2. Canadians doing what they've done all season, falling behind and then coming back, and they do it early, tying it up before the first period ends. 35 seconds remaining in it. Curry over the Montreal blue line. The puck knocked loose, and up comes Portnoy. Portnoy moving in on Kevin Lowe, goes wide and then puts it back in the net. Ryan Walter centers. Chelios with a shot that just missed. Comes to the right wing for Eriksson. Peter Eriksson over the Montreal line. Shot one off Ludwig, and Chelios will recover in the far corner. There hasn't been a penalty called in the first period, so all 4 goals, even strength. And it is 2-2 as the final 5 seconds tick off here. Portnoy is checked at the Edmonton blue line, and Steve Smith takes control of the puck. There's the siren. Well, the tempo was back and forth. Both teams having difficulties, as we pointed out several times on their own end of the ice, and after some big saves, Grant Fuhr yields 2 goals late in the period. And it's 2 to Canadians to the left as Guy Carbonneau comes to take the draw for Montreal. He'll be flanked by Courtnall on the right and Ryan Walter on the left. Messier taking the draw, but it was won by Carbonneau. The Canadians beat it to Walter. What a collision in center ice. The defenseman Muni came up, and then down he goes. This is Jeff Smith playing it cross ice to Mark Messier. Dumps it on into the Montreal zone. Chelios feeds it up the boards right to Anderson, and his shot hit the outside of the net. Got through the pads of Hayward, but didn't find its way in.
Again, Hayward taking a stab at the puck and kind of groping with his pad rather than his hand that time.
Now Messier back in his own end of the ice, trying to get away from Guy Carbonneau. Left it for Craig Muni, up to Craig Simpson. Out it goes to Glenn Anderson. He plays it away from Naslund. Got it onto the stick of Messier. Mark Messier taken to the boards by Chris Chelios, the Canadian captain. They continue to battle for it. Messier kicks it loose, got it to Anderson. Carbonneau checks him, but Messier was trailing the play and handles the puck smartly. Puts it back in the net, but there's Carbonneau. Fires it into the opposite corner. What a hit there. Ludwig stepping into Messier. Then Carbonneau went down heavily. Boy, did he get decked, and Carbonneau has been hurt. Craig Simpson just barreled into Guy Carbonneau, and the Canadians training staff coming out to attend to Guy.
Keeps reaching to his face with his left hand as if he had been hit up around the head. A lot of times what will happen is the face shield gets jammed back against their face. Take a look at some of the hits. There was not a lot of hitting in the first period. Here Messier turns, bang. Ludwig, who is an extremely powerful defenseman, levels Messier. Messier is a very difficult player to knock off his feet. There's the collision. Right after that, take a look again. There's Ludwig. Bang. Messier directly off his feet. And then Carbonneau gets leveled behind that. It is unusual. You can see, look at his arm. You can see him. You know he got stung. He won't admit it. He won't let anybody know that he's been hit, but we caught him with the camera, and there is Carbonneau, who had his bell rung rather loudly.
Now Kevin Lowe out of the Edmonton defense puts the puck in the Montreal zone, and Svoboda starts from there. Peter Svoboda over center, on into the Edmonton zone, and he gets hit hard. Check thrown by Bookeboom. Bodies lying everywhere here. It's 2-2. Bobby Smith works from back of the goal. Found Naslund in front, and his shot went wide. Smith racing after a loose puck. Keane takes his man. Svoboda shoots from the blue line. That missed the goal mouth. Here's Bobby Smith from the right side of the ice into Keane. Naslund knocks it loose. Keene down on the deck. So is the Edmonton player, Erickson. Montreal able to hold it in. LeFay feeds it across out of the reach of Svoboda. And up comes Jari Kurri. Curry and Lamb at the blue line. The play broken up as Curry couldn't find Lamb in order to make the play. Svoboda picks it up back of the Montreal goal, trying to catch Edmonton at a player change. He went to that side of the ice, and there was McTavish. Broke up the rush. Now Curry handles the puck. Jari Curry on his off wing has given it to McTavish, and his shot got through Hayward again and hit the side of the goal.
Brian Hayward turning his right pad. That's twice now the puck has went off the pad against the mesh just to his right, outside the goalpost. A dangerous play for the goaltender to be making.
And the last time we were here, about 10 days ago, Hayward was brilliant that night in a 2-1 Montreal win over Calgary. He has had his problems here this evening, although the score is still 2-2. Chris Chelios plays it up right wing. Stefan Richer moving it on into the Edmonton zone, and Charlie Huddy is back. Knocked away from him, went to Corson. Corson tied up against the boards. Now the puck comes loose. LeBeau trying to put it in front. McTavish back for the Oilers. Steps over the Montreal line. Good pass to Gelinas, then he can't get it back on the stick. Seemed to lose it in his skates. Takes it from McTavish this time. Rounds the net. Couldn't stuff one in from short range. Now McTavish in a little deep after taking Lacombe's pass. Look at the strength of McTavish as he fires one wide of the net. Richer taken to the boards by McTavish. LeBeau steals the puck. The rookie sensation for the Canadians. Feeds it to Corson. He shoots. Blocked by Fuhr, sticking the left pad out. It came right back to him, so he elects to get a face-off in his own end of the ice. Gilchrist from the face-off gives Montreal the lead.
What a play by Gilchrist as he takes the face-off and rips it through the feet of Grant Fuhr. Just as quickly as you can say it, it's a Montreal lead, 3-2. There's the play. Missing an assignment from the face-off. As the puck was dropped, Gilchrist, the puck nudged ahead. He just blasted it at the net, and it was in.
2 would be the number to play in the daily lottery or the numbers game. 2-2-2. Naslund second, Walters second, and now Gilchrist second of the season. Montreal has a 3-2 lead over the visitors, the Edmonton Oilers. Puck played back into the Montreal zone. Lume turned it to Daniel. Tried to go cross ice with a pass that is deflected back into the Edmonton zone, right to Grant Fuhr. Plays it up the right wing boards to McClellan, now to Buchberger. 2 men back. Buchberger gets over the line, gave it to Mark Messier from a sharp angle. The heel of the goalkeeper's stick got in front of that. Kevin Lowe puts it back in the net. Messier trying to tip one out in front, couldn't do it. And Jyrki Lume starts out on the Montreal defense. Bad pass intended for Peterson, and the Oilers control it in their own zone. They try to catch the Canadians on the change. Mark Lamb steps over the blue line. Gave a little fake to Daniel, then shoots one. Loose puck in front, tapped wide by Erickson. J.J. Daniel trying to tie up Mark Lamb. The puck is played back to the blue line and away from Bookaboo. Naslund strips him of the puck. Naslund sets up Keene on right wing. In deep is checked by Lowe, then puts it back to the net for Naslund. To Bobby Smith, and Curry steps in front of him but doesn't get it outside the blue line. Canadians moving right back in. Smith laying it out of the far corner into the goal mouth. Now Lamb chases it to the opposite side of the ice. Mark Lamb dumps one to center. LeFay dropping back for Montreal. Up to Bobby Smith. Smith pass out of the reach of Mats Naslund, and there's Bookaboo just firing it back into the center ice zone. Oilers unable to recover. Now Kevin Lowe will have to chase it. Still 14 and a half minutes to play in the second period. The Canadians with a 3-2 lead over Edmonton. Jari Kurri steps over the Montreal line, shoots one off the wing that's deflected. Bounces off the glass right to Peter Svoboda. He turned on Curry and then gives the puck to Keene. Cross ice it goes. Off the boards to Naslund. A 2-line pass. Offside. Play is called.
First 2 goals of the game go to Edmonton. The last 3, Naslund, Walter, and Gilchrist for the Montreal Canadiens.
Now the Oilers sending out the line of Messier, Simpson, and Anderson. Smith and Huddy together on defense. Steve Smith, number 5, playing the left side. Huddy on the opposite side is Anderson, forechecking deep in the Canadian zone. Gave it to Simpson, into Messier. Back along the boards. Huddy on the right side. Shot one off Ryan Walter. Anderson held it in. Has given it to Simpson. Back the other way, intended for Anderson, but Ludwig got a stick on it, and Ryan Walter clears it to center ice. This is Steve Smith. Gave it to Huddy, now to Messier, trying to get through some traffic. Chelios picks up the checking job on Messier. Puck comes loose for Anderson. Smith cruising it late. It's centered in front. Simpson gets a whack at it. A backhand shot. Blocked in the goal mouth. Look where Hayward is. He is facing the crowd behind the goal. The puck out in front of them.
Chelios and Ludwig both in there with them. They all fall down together. That twisted Hayward around. He was facing away, trying to spread out. His back to the ice. There's the play to the front by Messier. Simpson tries to wrap it. Then he backhands it. There's Chelios dropping down. Hayward spreads out with his arms like trying to make an eagle in the snow. Remember that when you were a kid? He lays down, spreads his arms out, and says, I got the whole place covered. Not to worry, Coach. They're not going to slide it in underneath.
Look at the Edmonton bench and Craig Simpson. Boy, you wouldn't be making any snowmen in the snow in Montreal just now. Temperatures in the 70s today.
Not since 1946 has it been as warm as it was today. Today was a new record. 21 degrees Celsius. Something, 76 degrees Fahrenheit?
Yeah, by mid-afternoon, I think that's the high they reached. They're expecting the same tomorrow. They had weather like that yesterday, too. Very unusual this time of the year. Not that there'd be a lot of snow on the ground, folks. Don't let me mislead you like that.
It could be that, too, but...
Laboda back into his own end of the ice, but the puck went to Craig McTavish. Can't slip it through the skates of Peter Laboda. McTavish took Lebeau down from behind. The first penalty of the game will be called as Corson breaks in. Can't get around Craig Muni. And that will be the first penalty of the game. Montreal Canadiens will go to the power play as McTavish leaves the ice.
Craig McTavish in the penalty box. It's a holding penalty. Racing out of his own end, grabbing a hold and pulling down Lebeau. McTavish draws the penalty. I can't see why Edmonton or Montreal wouldn't have been trying to force a few more penalties. The power play of the Montreal Canadiens, not exactly overwhelming.
Maybe that's why they don't want to force the Oilers into any penalties. They're afraid of their power play. Ranked 21st in the league, so Laboda sets up Chelios. Cross it goes. Lebeau's shot blocked by Fuhr. The puck loose, and the Oilers get to it with Mark Lamb clearing the zone. Up front for Montreal, they have Richer, Lebeau, and Corson. The Canadiens did score 2 power play goals here last night against Pittsburgh. On the season, the Canadiens have 9 power play goals on 65 opportunities. 21st ranking, percentage-wise, 13.8. They failed to get set up in the Edmonton zone there.
Corson getting 2 power play goals.
Now the forechecking of Lamb and Curry forces Montreal back. John Muckler making a change as Messier comes out to replace Lamb. In the meantime, Richer brings it through center ice. Feeds the puck onto the stick of Corson. He got turned around a little, and Kevin Lowe works it out to Messier. 2-on-1 with Curry. Richer trying to get back. So is Chelios as Messier shot it through the pads of Hayward and out the other side. Oh, my. Now Corson steps over the Edmonton line. Chelios drops it back. Here's Svoboda, big slap shot. Pure the save, and Lowe comes up with the rebound. Sent it to Glenn Anderson at center ice. Looked up at Svoboda, then got into the Canadian zone, recovers the puck neatly. Anderson's pass to Lowe. He just tipped it into the corner with 30 seconds left in McTavish's holding penalty.
You can see Messier right away. He's after the power play of the Montreal Canadiens. He knows that they're a little shaky. They've not handled the puck well so far. Wants to give them a few more jitters, press them down in their own end.
Now Bobby Smith brings the Montreal Canadiens in and then played it off the skates of Anderson. Daigneault back in the center ice area. He gives it to Chelios. Back to Daigneault. 6 seconds in the power play. Bobby Smith took Daigneault's pass, played it to the open wing. Naslund sets up Daigneault. A shot from the point is tipped wide. Fuhr grabs it as it came back off the glass, and there's no further play. And with that, McTavish is released from the penalty box.
Montreal not doing well at all in the power play, obviously trying to make little passes along the blue line, and they're unsuccessful.
Have a look at Grant Fuhr, this shot by Svoboda.
There's the look that Grant Fuhr had. The puck, he got his right pad out, made the save. Thorson gets knocked down in front by Muni. And you could see that Fuhr just stuck his leg out instinctively as he did there with his glove.
Just got in front of that shot from Lume. Now Bobby Smith trying to center from the corner to the left of Fuhr, and the puck is turned over. Martin Jelena moves it out into the Montreal zone. Lacombe went into forecheck, but the puck goes out of play. Canadians won the draw at their own blue line and now try to come up the right wing boards. Daniel got checked, but Keene tips it on into the Edmonton zone. There's Naslund putting it back of the net. Grant Fuhr leaves it. Steve Smith checks his options. Lacombe skates back of the net and recovers the puck there. 13 shots apiece. Montreal leading 3-2. Mike Keene with a pass to Mats Naslund. Looks toward Bobby Smith, and it jumps over his stick. Smith checked by Jelena. There's going to be another Edmonton penalty. Jelena is going to get the gate for hooking on Bobby Smith. Smith, who had missed a week with a bit of a problem. He'd been out with a Charlie horse. Takes a look here, but Montreal goes to the power play.
Jelena gets the penalty, a hooking penalty. It didn't look that serious at the time. Here's Naslund trying to feed the puck to Bob Smith. Smith reaches out. He gets hooked from behind, pulled away from the puck. Didn't appear to be a serious offense, but in the eyes of the referee, Andy Van Hellemond, it was enough to get 2 minutes and a power play for Montreal.
They set it up here with Courtnall on the left side. Carbonneau and Walter the other forwards for the Canadians. Chelios with a shot. Pad save. Fuhr makes another one from close range, and the Oilers come up with it. Messier feeds Steve Smith. He's over center ice, on into the Montreal zone where he pulls up, looks for McTavish, and the shot toward the net is blocked and then covered by goaltender Brian Hayward.
He keeps going for the puck on both power plays. The one a moment ago with McTavish in the penalty box. It was a hard shot from Messier that went through the legs of Hayward. And here, there's a save at the other end of the ice. Grant Fuhr with two fine stops before Messier is able to grab the puck and clear it. Here at the other end, Hayward makes the save. McTavish this time knocks the puck loose, but not into the net. Edmonton getting some scoring chances of their own while they're a man short.
Lamb and Curry up front. Jeff Smith and Craig Muni on defense for Edmonton. Here's Svoboda leading the attack for Montreal, then gave it to Chelios to dump in. Courtnall in after it. All three Montreal forwards over in this corner, and they get it back to the blue line. Svoboda to Carbonneau. To Svoboda to Chelios. To Svoboda through a screen. It's deflected wide. Walter on the rebound, and it hit Fuhr. Oilers trying to tie it up back of the net. Courtnall digging it loose. Got it back from Ryan Walter. Now it goes to Carbonneau to Courtnall, and it's knocked out of his skates. Picked up by Lamb. Over to Yari Curry. 2-on-1. Right back to Lamb. Muni moves in as well. Lamb with a shot. Hayward the save. Lamb had his own rebound denied by Hayward.
Montreal did not get back very quickly either. Lamb had a 3-on-1 going for him at one point.
Now Chelios steps over center. Gave it to Courtnall on right wing. Russ Courtnall waits. Drops it back to Chelios. Over to J.J. Daniel for a shot. That was well wide. Actually a pass, and nobody there to tip it. Chelios turned it over to McTavish. Now to Curry. Yari Curry turning at center ice. Lowe moves up. The pass through McTavish will be recovered by Daniel. 20 seconds remaining in Jelena's hooking penalty. Daniel carrying it across the Edmonton blue line. Gave it to Bobby Smith. Smith waiting. Now elects to feed it to the far side to Daniel. Back to Ludwig. One times it. That missed the net. Kevin Lowe steps in front of Keene. Gave the puck to Anderson. Daniel trapped out at the blue line. Centers with a cross to Bobby Smith. It's off the boards. Games are back at 6's side again. Twice now, Montreal failing to capitalize with the man advantage. Bookeboom takes Keene down, back of the net. Here's Naslund with the puck. Turns, puts it behind the goal, but Bookeboom tipped it. Bobby Smith centered, and Keene couldn't control it. This is Naslund. Playing it deep in the Edmonton zone to Bobby Smith. Out to Keene, and Messier stepped in front of him. Here's Keene, backhands one wide. Naslund takes it behind the net, then got checked by Jeff Bookeboom. Keene centers, that's tipped. Onto the stick of Glenn Anderson, and out come the Oilers. Jelena at center ice. Left the puck at the blue line. It's recovered by Anderson. Drops it to Messier. Messier shoots. Hayward the save. Messier gets his rebound. Feeds it back. This is Huddy with a drive. Hayward the save. The puck loose in front. Messier can't get it teed up. Jelena turned away from it momentarily, and that gave Keane an opportunity to play it for Montreal. Lafay, the young defenseman for the Canadiens, dumps it down into the Edmonton zone, but not far enough for icing as Steve Smith went back. Over it goes to Huddy, plays it up the right wing boards, and Lafay drops back for Montreal. 3-2, Canadiens leading the Edmonton Oilers. Carbonneau to Courtnall, back to Carbonneau in the Edmonton zone. Steve Smith knocked it loose. There's Peterson. The Oilers trying to move it up the boards. Huddy got it to Lacombe, then right back to Huddy. Played it through Peterson on to Craig Simpson's stick. Long pass just out of the reach of Norman Lacombe, and Hayward cleared it back in the net for Lume. To Courtnall, and they cleared the Montreal territory. Steve Smith chops it right back. It's brought out by Courtnall. First the speed. He comes over the Edmonton line, then tried to center one that was blocked. Here's Gilchrist back at the goal. He has given it to Peterson. Tried to set up Lume at the point. Puck didn't arrive in time, and Daniel drops back. Now the Oilers setting up at center ice. This is McTavish. Into Simpson. Centers one in front. There's McTavish, a backhander. Hayward the save. The puck comes loose, but Lume is there. Can't get it out. Muni with a shot into the skates of McTavish. In comes Muni again. Turns it over to Lume, and the Canadiens come up 3-on-1. Jeff Smith, the lone man back. Here's Jocelyn Lemieux to Gilchrist. Oh, what a play by Muni. Catching up to break up that pass. Oilers are saved. Some embarrassment here in Montreal. Meantime, it's Lamb hustling over the Montreal blue line. He pulls up, waits for help to arrive, then shoots one that hit Lume and bounced right to Lemieux. Jocelyn Lemieux putting it in center, but LeBeau can't handle it. Neither can Curry for the Oilers side of things, and we have just over 5 minutes to play in the second period.
Both teams putting on quite a skating foray, and again opening the hockey game up. Some chances at both ends. I suppose in this hockey game, the way it is going right now, if you're not a good skating defenseman, you must be in trouble. Hayward, a couple of saves here off Craig McTavish. He tries to jam it underneath. Hayward stays down, moves the puck away, and then it's shot out into safety by Lume.
Hayward's 8th season in the NHL, and this is the play where Muni came back, broke up that 3-on-1 rush for Montreal. By Montreal, I should say. Ludwig, it's turned around in his own end of the ice, but Corson over on left wing moves the puck into center ice. Richer is tripped up. Play allowed to continue. Chelios across the line, but it's offside.
Give you an idea of what's happening in this hockey game, and don't really have an answer for it. A power play, the last power play by the Montreal Canadiens, they outshot Edmonton 3-2 on the power play. Kind of crazy. Both teams having some scoring opportunities. The better ones going to the Edmonton Oilers while they were man short. They have one shorthanded goal so far this season.
For the Canadiens, the line of LeBeau with Richer on the right, Corson on the left. Edmonton countering with Lamb, Erickson, and Curry. 3-2. Montreal leading the Edmonton Oilers. Edmonton at one point led 2-0. Montreal tied it before the end of the first period, then extended the lead when Gilchrist scored right from the faceoff. 3.5 minutes into the second period. Here's Kevin Lowe holding the puck at the blue line. Played it in around behind the net. Hayward shoveling it up the left side to Ludwig. To Corson. It's knocked away from him. Chris Chelios reverses things and pulled up on Erickson. Good play to Corson. Goes cross ice. Jumped over Richer's stick.
Corson's going off, Jiggs. I think Erickson hurt him when he hit him with the last body check behind the net.
Corson has started to limp down the runway toward the Montreal dressing room, all right. Canadians forcing the puck into the Edmonton zone, only to have Charlie Huddy clear it cross ice. Out into the center ice zone where Messier promptly puts it in the Montreal end. Oilers go home following this 5-game road trip. Play the Devils at home on Wednesday, and there's Courtnall with a shot off right wing that's blocked. Loose puck on the right side, recovered by Anderson. Steps over the line, can't cut into the middle. Simpson gives it to Messier, to Anderson, and it was in his skates. Lafay works it back in the net for Daniel. Around the boards, but right to Craig Simpson. Using the glass, he's able to get it to the other corner for Anderson. To Messier, couldn't center it in time. Ryan Walter has it for Montreal. He gives it to Guy Carbonneau. Messier right on him. The puck left for Courtnall on his off wing. What a play to drag that around, but he couldn't recover. His Huddy was right there. Now Lefebvre at the blue line. Walks right in. He shoots. He duffs the shot.
Had too much time. Didn't know what to do with it all.
Boy, the rookie defenseman looked up. Wide open pass to the goal mouth. Puck fever?
Yes, a little bit. I think he was surprised when he looked up, saw nobody between he and the net. The puck was in front of him. He started in to shoot it, and then he hesitated. He looked up again and said, boy, I could keep going. Then he changed his mind for the second time, tried a shot and missed it.
Man.
There's Courtnall as he turned in the corner. You can see Lefebvre there. What a play by Courtnall as he is firing the puck out just beyond Anderson. The referee goes for a header over Courtnall, but at that point, Lefebvre moves in, and then miscued when he tried to let the shot go. Andy Van Helleman wouldn't have seen it anyway. He was laying on the ice looking up at the rafters.
Referee knocked down. Could take more than that to get Andy out of the game. 2 minutes and 48 seconds remaining in the second period. The Canadians step out of their own zone, led by Mike Keane. Backhands it in. Chasing it is Naslund. Rounds the net. Looked toward Keane. Gave it to Chelios at the point. Across to Lume. Through a screen. That was wide of the net. Chelios pinching it off the right point. Turned it over. Now Jeff Smith dumps it out to center. Lume going back. The only goal of the period came at the 3:34 mark. Montreal clinging to that 1-goal lead over the Edmonton Oilers. Bobby Smith into the center ice area. A lot of head movement, but he couldn't get across the blue line in control of the puck. Jelena works it up the left wing. Craig McTavish trying to get away from Smith. Steps over the Montreal line on left wing. Centered for Lacombe, and he shot one off Hayward. Lume starts out on the right side. The Canadians come up 3-on-3, and a nice play by the defenseman Muni to break up that rush. Or make it Bookaboo, rather, not Muni. This is Kevin Lowe. Good pass to Jelena. He's over the line. Shoots one wide of Hayward. Comes right back to Curry. Plays it to the opposite side of the ice. Kevin Lowe pinching in. Knocked it away from Jocelyn Lemieux, but it comes to center ice. Jay Lemieux is the younger brother of Claude Lemieux. Claude not in the Montreal lineup. He's missed the season thus far with injury problems. Here's Jocelyn Lemieux on the backhand. Rounds the net. 21-year-old Jocelyn Lemieux ends up on the deck, and the puck is frozen for a face-off. Tangled up there with Kevin Lowe. You see Lowe getting back to his skates. He was injured in the game Tuesday night at the Nassau Coliseum. Talking to Kevin before the game, he still didn't have full range of motion with his neck, his head. He said, I can't look up totally, and I can't look down totally. I can't look to the right totally or to the left, but I'm going to play.
He's the kind of player that is not going to be kept out of the lineup if there's a chance at all. Great sense of humor. Kevin Lowe, well-spoken. Like to call him occasionally back in Edmonton. But he went down to block a shot against the Islanders on Tuesday, as you had pointed out. And as he went down blocking the shot, Brent Sutter came charging in and fell over him. Or Flatley, I believe it was, coming in off the right side. Fell over top of him, twisting his neck.
One thing, I guess Kevin didn't see any replays. He was asking about it, if there's any options, and that he didn't feel there was, knowing the play and where everybody was at the time.
Victim of circumstance.
Mm-hmm. Here's Messier off right wing, and a shot hit Chelios, and he got it away again, and Hayward put the right pad out. Back of the net, it's Messier battling for the puck. He jammed it around the boards and out of the reach of Yari Curry. Chris Chelios steps out of the Montreal zone. Comes to center, on into the Edmonton territory, then dumped it back of the net. It's recovered by Bookaboo, up to Curry. Now to Lowe, and out to Mark Lamb. Lamb across the line, left it for Messier, into Lamb, centers one across, there's Curry, shoots, he scores! Yari Curry got it just over the goal line, and it's tied at 3.
It looked like a broken play for a moment. Fine play by Messier. Curry just nudged the puck across the goal line. Hayward reached for it. It had cleared the goal line. It was in. Light seemed to be a little delayed. The play across, Curry stopped it with a skate. It was partially stopped by Hayward. Watch Jerry Curry raises his arm. He sees the puck's in. The goal judge then puts the light on. That's Messier to Lamb. Lamb across the goal mouth. Got through the skates. of the defenseman, and Curry finally nudges it gently across the goal line. The light goes on. It's a 3-3 tie as Jerry Curry converts a goal mouth pass.
Earlier tonight, Lamb had his second goal of the season. Curry leads the Oilers with 9. That's his ninth. Messier has 8. Anderson has 7. That pretty well accounts for most of the Edmonton scoring. Greg Simpson, who has had difficulty putting the puck in the net, comes over the Montreal line, shifts it to the backhand, to the forehand, and slipped it just wide as he was being taken down. And there's a penalty call coming against the Montreal Canadiens.
Simpson with some fine moves, some puck control, tries to get himself into a good scoring position. Here, pulls the puck to his backhand, controls it with one hand, tries to get back to the forehand, and runs out of room, but he was hooked from behind as he drew closer to the net. Lefebvre getting a hold of him, pulling him down.
Penalty call is at 1946.
This is the goal a moment ago. Jerry Curry taking Lamb's pass and then having his shot partially stopped by Hayward. The puck ends up across the goal line, and it's a 3-3 tie.
First power play of the game for the Edmonton Oilers. Their power play is ranked 12th in the National Hockey League. 12 power play goals on 60 opportunities, and Steve Smith has given it to Mark Messier. Across to Curry, and it was tipped away from him by Ryan Walter. Steve Smith recovers, nowhere to go as time runs off the clock, and that's the end of the second period. Well, this time it's Edmonton's turn to come from behind and get a tie after Grant Fuhr had given up that goal to Gilchrist, pretty much even Steven, until the goal by Curry in the final minute of the second period. So it's 3-3, and we have played 2 periods at the Forum in Montreal. Second period scoring went this way. Brent Gilchrist, right from the face-off. He's in the circle to the right of the goalkeeper, gets his second of the season unassisted at 3:34. The Montreal lead at 3-2 stood until 1923 when Curry is to get his 9th of the season. Lamb and Messier assisting. Shots on goal, you see the totals after 2 periods. The Edmonton Oilers had 13 in that second period. The Montreal Canadiens had 9. Messier at center ice winning the face-off to open up this third period. Flanking Messier, Anderson on one side, Simpson on the other. And Steve Smith lugs the puck out of the Edmonton zone, up the middle of the ice. He dumps it on into the Canadian zone, only to have Ludwig return the favor.
Well, I'll tell you, when you're a forward in that particular kind of a play and the defenseman does not get the puck in, it's dangerous. Everybody, actually all 5 players, are heading into Montreal's end of the ice, and the puck intercepted.
Now, Jerry Curry has put it behind the Canadiens' goal. Ryan Hayward moved it on to Chelios. Chris Chelios turning on Simpson. Messier picks up the forechecking job, but the pass was perfect. Onto the stick of Ryan Walter. Then he lost it at center ice. Stepping in front of him was Messier, and Anderson comes over the line. He shoots off the chest protector of Hayward. It was Simpson, rather, who stepped in front of the man, not Messier, as I misidentified him, and now it's Messier chasing the puck, but Ludwig is there. Canadians dumping it in, then go for a player change. Jerry Curry starts from back of the Edmonton goal. Feeds it up the middle of the ice to Normand Lacombe. To Messier on right wing. Cruises in. Messier shoots from a sharp angle. It was blocked by Hayward, and the rebound is cleared by Jelena. Back to Curry. Over to Steve Smith. Into Jelena, and he played it through him. Now Jelena recovers in time to give it to Messier. Centers it back to the blue line. Curry fakes once. Edmonton on this power play. Steve Smith with a shot blocked in front. They bang at the rebound. It's kicked at, and finally underneath Mike Keane. It just lies there forever, it seemed, before Keane dropped down on top of the puck.
Jelena, Messier all standing waiting for a loose puck, but it was not coming out as Montreal finally able to cover up quickly. Mike Keane was down. Hayward obviously down, trying to protect the low ice. A scramble all started when Curry made a fine move at the point by hanging on to the puck. From there, the shot comes in, and everything breaks down for Montreal, but the puck not sprung loose. Here's the shot that gets things rolling. Off the skate. Ludwig goes down. He's back in the net. He's got a little leverage. He's holding the puck away from the goal line.
Now the final 8 seconds ticking off, and LeFay's holding penalty. Jeff Smith moves it up to Lacombe. Plays it around the boards in the Montreal territory. This is Chelios. Went to the left side, shot it out of the reach of LaFay, who had just stepped out of the penalty box, and this will result in an icing as Muni went back to touch up. So 18 minutes, 6 seconds is what remains here in the third period. A crowd of 16,564 on hand tonight. You had an opportunity to talk to your old pal Glenn Sather before the game, Mr. Westfall. Did he give you any indication how he's progressing, or if he's progressing, on making a deal for disgruntled player Jimmy Carson?
No, I didn't really ask him so much that. I did touch on it briefly, but he said that, that he was talking about several teams, but nothing that he was going to jump in and grab right away, and he's not in any hurry. There was one other item he did talk about, and if we get a chance, I'll tell you about that. And it has to do with situations such as Jimmy Carson's with his team, and if it happens with others.
3-3 is our score here. Naslund dumped the puck in, then went in after it, puts it behind the net for Keene, steps out in front, but shot it across the front of the goal. Now Bobby Smith from the opposite side. That's turned aside by Grant Fuhr. Oilers get it into the center ice area. Jelena bumping with LaFay, and the puck is cleared by the Canadians. Right onto Yari Curry's stick, however, and he forces Montreal to chase it. 28-18 now are the shots on goal in favor of Edmonton, but the score is tied at 3. Canadians just play it out through center ice, nothing doing there. Kevin Lowe set it up for Bookaboo. He dumped it in. LaFay turned and went back. He's given it to Peter Svoboda. Up now to Naslund. Naslund, who will turn 30 on Tuesday, dumps it on into the Edmonton zone, and there's Grant Fuhr handling it with a pass to Curry. Bobby Smith was on him and then released him, and Curry moves the puck smartly to Mark Lamb. Lamb at the Montreal line, gave it to Erickson, then to Kevin Lowe. Put it behind the net, in after it is Erickson, to the blue line for Bookaboo. Fires one toward the net that ricochets to Lamb, now to Curry. Turned back on Bobby Smith. Curry on his knees, puts it deeper in the corner, but Lume is there. Turkey Lume gets checked. Here's Yari Curry rounding the goal. Feeds it to Lowe for a shot that's blocked at the defense and picked up by Bobby Smith.
That hard shot by Lowe hit his own man, Erickson, on the ankle.
Play, meantime, goes back into the Edmonton zone, and there's Lowe using the boards to get it out to center ice. J.J. Daniel unable to hit the ball with the pass, and the Oilers have dumped it down the ice. Daniel gets to it first, and that's an icing call against Edmonton. The score is tied 3-3. You're watching.
Pat Burns, 37 years old, on the right, said, "What's all the fuss about?" Heck, I can't understand. Last year we were 4 wins, 7 losses, and 1 tie. This year we're 6-6, and we've given up 11 less goals. Everybody's worried. But I'm not.
Saw him briefly before the game tonight. He just said his team is playing real well. He said, "I'm happy with it." He came within 95 seconds, I think it was, 75 seconds of a shutout for Patrick Waugh last night. Guess the fans here were really on Mario Lemieux. He did not get a shot on goal in the game last night for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Back to his hometown and was booed unmercifully, I'm told.
Pittsburgh, his team, and he individually, along with several others, have not played well in Pittsburgh or on the road.
Don Cherry on Hockey Night in Canada last evening was claiming that the Penguins are playing as if they want to get the coach fired. A couple of players denied that, but Grapes was adamant about it. Here's Messier.
He should know about coaches being fired and players wanting that to happen. He's an expert.
You played for him.
No, I didn't.
Oh, that's right.
No,
Excuse me.
No, I watched them, though. I watched them. The players played like they wanted to have him fired in Colorado. And then the same thing in Boston previous to that.
Excuse me, trying to make you younger than... Here's a chance for the Canadians, and the man dragged down in front of the net. Delayed penalty call. Now it comes as Jelena cleared the puck.
Oilers penalty number 11, Bart Macy. Good news for hooking at 5 minutes, 9 seconds.
Mark Messier in the penalty box. It's a hooking call as Montreal trying to get something started up offensively deep in Edmonton's end of the ice. Messier trying to bail out his team in front of the net. The pass coming out from Lemieux. Messier draws the hooking penalty, in Montreal. It's their third power play.
They have Ryan Walter, Naslund, and Smith up front. Svoboda and Chelios at the points. Mark Lamb facing off for Edmonton. McTavish is the other forward. The Oilers use Huddy and Steve Smith is their defense combination. Svoboda playing with it at the Montreal line before giving it to Chelios, and he dumps it around the boards. Naslund went in after it. Gets control of it now and dropped it back to Svoboda. To Mats Naslund, to Peter Svoboda. Over to Naslund. In it goes for Bobby Smith. Back to Naslund. To Svoboda. Fake, shooting it through the screen, and gave it to Chelios, and he dumps it back to the net, but right to Charlie Huddy. Huddy can't clear the zone. Chelios with a shot. Blocked in front, picked up by Anderson. And the Canadians will have to chase it. 1 minute, 18 seconds remaining in Messier's hooking penalty. Svoboda had trouble taking the puck back of the net, and now out he comes. Peter Svoboda shoots it in from center ice. Rattles around the boards into the skates of Bobby Smith. Lamb is right on him. He nudges the puck loose. But can't clear the zone. Here's Smith over on the right side. Smith drags it back to the blue line, trying to elude the check of Lamb, and then his shot is blocked. Greg Muni out on defense on one side, Jeff Smith on the other for Edmonton as the Canadians set up in the corner. Naslund gets it to Chelios through a screen, and that's turned aside by Fuhr. Chelios pinches in, but in to recover the puck is Bobby Smith. Center to Naslund, and he shot it wide. It's loose at the side of the goal, and Muni plays it up to Lamb, who slaps it off the glass and gets it into center ice.
Bobby Smith doing a lot of puck handling and good pursuit of the puck. He lost it once, things turned around, he got it right back again, but he has been effective here on the power play, but Fuhr has been getting in the way.
17 seconds with the man advantage as Montreal pours into the Edmonton zone. Jocelyn Lemieux centers. That's covered and held by Grant Fuhr. Now 10 seconds in the power play, and the Canadians have not had a shot on goal. Shot at the goal, missed a couple of times, but not one on.
A couple of good plays by Fuhr off to the sides of the net when Smith trying to jam it in. Obviously, they don't feel that from the angle it was, that it was really a save more than a deflection of the puck to the side of the net. But Montreal has held the puck in Edmonton's end of the ice consistently. Edmonton, they have given up 13 power play goals and 62 times short, 79% efficiency. They're ranked 11th in the penalty killing department. They've scored one shorthanded goal. They have given up one against their power play so far this year. Montreal has not scored a shorthanded goal or given one up against their power play.
Following the draw, Kevin Lowe is able to clear the puck for the Oilers. This is Lume. Gave it to LeBeau, and that does it. The Montreal power play is zipped for the evening. The team's at 6 aside. The score tied 3-3 as Bookeboom feeds it out to the right side for McTavish. On to Glenn Anderson. Anderson tried to whip one through a screen. It hit Lume. Lays it up the boards. Bookeboom shoots from the point off McTavish in front. Messier gets to the puck. Tried to give it to Anderson, who takes a swipe at it. And straight up in the air and dropped in front of McTavish. He chases it toward the corner. Anderson gets checked from behind, and now it's Peterson for Montreal, moving it out to center ice. Courtnall gets a stick on it, brings it over the line. Gus Courtnall to Peterson, and what a save by Fuhr, stretching out. Another penalty call coming against the Oilers. Chelios takes it at the blue line, and now we've got another Montreal player injured. It's Guy Carbonneau again, just about the same area of the ice in which he had been injured earlier in this game.
7 minutes 52.
Well, Ryan Walter is number 11 for the Montreal Canadiens, but he was not involved in the play, wasn't on the ice. Messier, they had wrong, number 11 for Edmonton, gets the penalty. Kevin Lowe, it appeared, was going to get a penalty. Carbonneau is having a dispute now, an argument with Andy Van Helleman. You can see him as he reaches toward his nose and eye area. He went down heavily in the corner. The only player, you can see the blood on the bridge of his nose. The only player near him at the time was Kevin Lowe. Suppose you don't mind getting cut as long as the guy that cut you gets the penalty, the appropriate penalty. But so far, no penalty forthcoming for the cut on Carbonneau's nose.
Messier is in the box for hooking. Time of his penalty is 7:52 of the third period. Bobby Smith centers for Courtnall and Ryan Walter. Courtnall dropping it back. Svoboda across to Chelios. So Peter Svoboda one times it and went off Mark Lamb, and he's able to shoot it down the ice. The Edmonton Oilers have not won a game in the Forum since November 11th, 1986. And coming in here tonight, the season series dead even. 15 wins, 15 losses, 2 ties between these clubs.
5-1-0 in the last 6.
There's Chelios with a shot and the rebound banged in by Courtnall.
Back-to-back hooking penalties to Mark Messier. And Montreal convert on the second one to make it 4-3. Russ Courtnall, as he pops it in, taking the rebound there. Lots of time, lots of room, and Courtnall has regained a 1-goal lead. Russ Courtnall, that's goal number 3, a power play goal. First power play goal of the hockey game. I suppose Charbonneau's nose doesn't feel nearly as bad now as it did a minute ago.
Well, certainly not, nor the fine that Courtnall had to pay in court in Ontario this past week for a misdemeanor, a drunk driving charge, as a matter of fact, that was levied against him while he was a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs. They finally got that out of the way this week.
Well, I would go back to July of 1988.
Heavy fine, lost his license for a year. But he had a license all alone, and now Keene breaks in, and Fuhrer going down, held the short side. Buffet dumps one right back in for Montreal. Canadians up 4-3 on home ice. Here are the Oilers. Jelena getting it to McTavish. To Jelena, who was just out of his reach. Canadians trying to pick up the pace here, but then the check from Simpson frees up the puck. McTavish puts it in the corner for Jelena. The center, Simpson, is too well covered. Now Steve Smith to Jelena, backhander. Hayward the save, a scramble on, and Hayward covers the puck. Then some pushing and shoving after the whistle, but an excellent opportunity denied as the Oilers were all around the net. With the score, the Canadians 4, the Oilers 3. Let's pause for a regional break.
Edmonton trying to even things up again. They trail by 1. Craig Simpson trying to jam a puck loose from Hayward, but was unsuccessful.
Now John Muckler has sent out Mark Lamb, Peter Eriksson, and Yari Curry. The Oilers get the draw to Kevin Lowe. His shot deflected in front. It comes loose. Eriksson dropped it back to Bukaboom. Plays it in toward the corner. Lume gets checked at that point. Eriksson feeds Curry. Puts it right out in front. It came off the leg and to the blue line where Bukaboom held it in. Now Lamb back of the Canadians' goal. Centered off Curry into the catching glove of Hayward, and there's no further play. Walter and Curry push at one another ever so briefly. Still 10 minutes and 24 seconds remaining in the third period. And that Montreal goal, the go-ahead, Courtnall from Chelios and Smith at 8:23.
Get a look at Gary Curry, number 2 in everything offensively for the Edmonton Oilers. Trails Wayne Gretzky in goals scored, assists, and total points. Outstanding right winger. Kekkonen, late scratch for the hockey game.
Is he hurt?
Yes. Apparently he got hurt in the game last night against the Quebec Nordiques.
Oilers do have Norm McIver up with the team now, the former New York Ranger defenseman. McIver ended up over at Hartford and then was acquired by the Oilers. He's here, but not in uniform. See the Canadians clearing the puck out of their own territory, only to have Jeff Bukaboom put it back in again. Daniel working behind the net. Gilchrist moves up the right wing to take the pass and then clears it into center. This is Kevin Lowe to Eriksson, dumps it back in again. The Oilers have had 7 shots on goal this period, the Canadians 5. The Canadians good on their power play attempt. Peterson knocked down at center ice. Simpson with the puck, gave it to Anderson, to Messier, and he couldn't handle it at the Montreal line. Now he gets control of it. Moves in, dropped it back, but between the defense combination, as Muni had started to the right, the puck went to his left. Jeff Smith recovered, gave it to Muni, to Messier, couldn't make the pass. Jeff Smith once more putting it in the center ice area and just out of the reach of Glenn Anderson. Ludwig drops back. Worked it out to center, and there's Muni. to Jeff Smith, and he has to chase
Some
him.
poor puck handling now by Edmonton. They had been carrying the puck to Montreal the last two shifts, and now with their puck under control, they're making a couple of bad passes here, keeping them from controlling the center ice area and gaining the blue line.
Now they're denied the opportunity to move into the Montreal zone. Here's Courtnall up with the puck. That's Courtnall dumping it wide to Grant Fuhr, and it's recovered by Steve Smith. Steve Smith using the left wing boards. That'll be an icing. It's a bad play in the center ice area on the part of the Edmonton Oilers. See the time remaining in tonight's game, the fifth in a 5-game road trip for the Oilers, not their longest trip of the season. At the end of January and early February, they'll leave Edmonton on a 6-game road trip. Right after they go home for 3 games, they head right out again on a 4-game trip. A 4-game road trip. That 6th game coming up is the longest, though. We'll talk about the travel of L.A., Vancouver. Keep in mind that Edmonton is a well-traveled hockey team over the course of the season as well.
Not too many non-stop flights out of Edmonton to anywhere.
No.
Calgary.
Perhaps. In Vancouver, I guess, if you're looking for one. You might be able to get to Regina, but there isn't a team there. Now Jay Lemieux comes in. Jocelyn Lemieux scores!
It was about a 90-foot trip for Lemieux, Jocelyn Lemieux, as he's left all alone down the right wing side. The left-handed shooter puts it in the net. Here's the pass that springs him loose. The Edmonton defense realized what happened. They forgot about him. He hasn't been on the ice that often. Through the doors. The 5-hole of Grant Fuhr, Jocelyn Lemieux. Beautiful release of the puck at knee height between the legs. And it's a 2-goal lead, 5-3 now, as the Montreal Canadiens take advantage of a big mistake, a big defensive error by the Edmonton Oilers. They make the Islanders pay.
5-3 now. Lemieux's goal at the 12:02 mark of the third period. Lamb puts the puck in the Montreal zone. Erickson went in, left it for Curry on the backhand. He shifts here and can't get a shot away. Naslund comes out. Canadians up 2-on-2 as Keane moves to the right. So does Naslund, only to run into Kevin Lowe. He kicked the puck to Curry. On to Lamb. Lamb stepped over the Montreal blue line, held it, then shot one. It's in the pads of Hayward. He's able to hold on with 7 minutes and 24 seconds left in the third period. Big comeback for the Montreal Canadiens after they were down 2-0, tied it, took a lead, only to see that become tied, and now another 2-goal Montreal lead. The Canadiens up 5-3. Edmonton sending out Messier, Anderson, and Simpson. Carbonneau looking pretty beat up. In to take the face-off, and the draw went right to Hayward. Turned it aside with the blocking glove. Courtnall clears the zone, and Muni recovers at center ice. He gave it to Simpson, now to Messier, who could only wave at it. Ends up behind the goal, recovered by Chelios. Around the boards, and it's tipped out to center by Courtnall. Muni recovering it there. Got it to the Montreal blue line. Messier couldn't tip it into the corner, and here come the Canadiens, 2-on-2 at center ice. Ryan Walter to Russ Courtnall. Back to Walter, but just out of his reach. Muni and Walter bumping on the end boards. The puck loose. Jeff Smith lost it. Courtnall gets it out to Ludwig for a shot that went wide of the net. This is Simpson. Simpson got it to center ice. Ludwig knocks it away from him, and back goes Muni.
I think the toll that the games that these two teams played last night is taking a bigger one on Edmonton than it is on the Montreal Canadiens.
Sure seems that way. They're looking very road weary right now, aren't they? And they just turned the puck over, and Courtnall slammed it wide. Anderson works it out to center ice. Simpson gives chase, but back goes Chelios.
Mark Messier on what to take to be a winner, what to take to win hockey games. He said you've got to stick your nose in, you've got to get a little dirty and a little bit bloody. Kind of the way he plays hockey.
Messier out there with Kevin McClelland and Martin Gelinas at the moment.
Double shifting Messier now here late in the hockey game, trying to get something going offensively with a couple of fresh wingers.
The Oilers try to come up the left side of the ice. Gelinas with a pass to Messier. Cruises in on Lefebvre, but can't get around the rookie defenseman. Here's Jocelyn Lemieux, and he backhands it to center and on into the Edmonton zone. Icing will be waved off. 5.5 minutes to play in the third period. The puck shot down into the Montreal zone, and Hayward steers it onto the stick of Sylvain Lefebvre. To the line where Huddy trapped it, then can't get around Svoboda. McClellan with a shot into the goal mouth, blocked by Hayward. Jelena is decked, and McClellan ties it up on the end boards. It's knocked away and recovered by Gilchrist. Gilchrist feeds Naslund at center ice. Shoots it on into the Edmonton zone. Fuhr leaves it behind the net. In goes Keane, but not in time. Steve Smith plays one off the boards. And at center ice, J.J. Daniel recovers for Montreal. Gave it to Bobby Smith. Relayed it smartly to Keane. Now to Naslund. Naslund playing it around the boards. Kevin Lowe on the opposite side of the ice for the Oilers. Played it rink wide and out of the reach of his teammates. But back goes Bookeboom. Bookeboom steps over center. Shot it on into the Montreal zone. Daniel will pick it up there. To Keane. He's bumped as he shoots it down into the Edmonton zone, but not near far enough for icing. 4.5 minutes left. The Oilers down by 2. The road trip has been 500. A win, a loss, and 2 ties, and they're on the verge of dropping below 500 on this trip. Curry putting one back of the net for Erickson. He's thumped heavily by Daniel. Erickson quick to get back on those skates and freezes it for a face-off.
Mark Messier. Richer in pursuit. He comes back into Messier. Boom. Levels him with a check. Richer expecting to get clipped by Messier. Got to him before Messier could do anything to Richer.
Little payback there earlier on his shift. Messier put the stick into Richer pretty good, and there was no retaliation. Richer learning to keep his head a little bit, not giving it back quite as quick as he used to.
Beat J.J. Daniel, too, also trying to give a little payback to Kevin Lowe a moment ago, figuring it was Lowe that clipped Carbonneau.
This is Richer handling the puck in the Edmonton end of the ice. That check, picks it up again, puts it in front. That's broken up by Jeff Smith. Up to Erickson, but the Edmonton net is off the moorings. One of the nice benefits of the extra games here on Sports Channel, getting the opportunity to come to Montreal tonight, and a very impressive ceremony in the press room. They renamed the press, well, actually named it for the first time in honor of the late Jacques Beauchamp, a ceremony this evening. Jacques Beauchamp started covering the Montreal Canadiens for the newspapers in the 1940s. He died a little over a year ago, but he was the first writer to travel with the Canadiens during the regular season, going back to the 40s, and it's very nice tonight that he be remembered by naming the press room the Jacques Beauchamp press room.
Yes, he's also a member of the Media Hall of Fame.
A lot of folks in Philadelphia will remember him. He was there, got that tabloid started a few years back.
Used to sit on the trains with Jacques. Wonderful man to sit and talk any sport. He loved sports. If there was an event anywhere, he was there. In the days of train travel, had a chance to visit with people like that.
If there was an event scheduled, Jacques would organize one, get it going, wouldn't he?
Oh, yes. And then report on it. He said, as long as there were people around to go and watch something, I was going to go watch it also.
Now a little less than 3 minutes remaining in the third period. The Canadiens up 5-3. And a penalty call coming. Carbonneau took Simpson down, and that'll be a holding call. Referee Andy Van Hellemond. Not too many calls here tonight.
Carbonneau went to the penalty box. He was a little upset. You know, he got clipped, and nobody got a penalty for it. Figuring at the end of the hockey game, there he is now talking to the linesman, saying, listen, what do I have to do here? There's Carbonneau. Reaches out. That's the holding there. He grabs a hold. Simpson and pulls him down. So double jeopardy here. Simpson actually had a hold of Carbonneau's stick, but Carbonneau you could see reaching out with the right hand.
And a look at the Montreal bench. We had hoped that Tom Chorsky would be back in the lineup tonight. He's been nursing a hip pointer, and we had a whole thing planned about he would be the last Canadiens player to be shaved. Rookie initiation is no more. He'll be the last one, according to General Manager or Director of Hockey Operations, Serge Savard.
Yeah, that's a thing of the past, boys. We don't do that anymore, and that's going to be it.
They don't play all their home games on Saturday nights the way they used to either. 7 times the Canadiens will be on the road on Saturday nights this season. Tradition changes. Now Edmonton on the power play is Steve Smith. Last one. Hayward got a chunk of that. Smith firing off the left point. And Chelios fails to clear it out. This is Mark Messier. Drops it back to Steve Smith. Curry open on the right side, and Smith mishandled the puck at the blue line.
In that kind of a hockey game, little things that have gone wrong.
Oilers had a lot of problems with the power play, especially at the points a week ago tonight in a game at Winnipeg. They're lacking that man at the point, that key guy who can be the quarterback on the power play. They thought they had him late last season in Thomas Jansson. Jansson decided to stay in Sweden this year. Now Messier leads the Oiler attack. Cruises in, centered one in front. Simpson shot it wide. Here's Messier with it. Look toward the point. Now gives it to Curry. Over to Messier. Back it goes to Steve Smith, and he again can't handle the puck. And again, the Oilers have to chase it.
Matter of mishandling it also. Do something with it, and he didn't. Ends up back down in his own end of the ice.
There's Messier across the line trying to get the puck to Anderson. He gets checked. Canadians having an easy time killing off this penalty to Carbonneau.
Well, you know, that's the point you have to make here, Tiggs, is the fact that it's not really that Montreal is doing an outstanding job killing the penalty. It's just that the Edmonton Oilers are giving the puck up easily just inside the blue line of Montreal.
Now the Canadians failed to clear it out. Curry held it at the right point before giving it to Lamb. Back to Curry. Into Lamb to Curry. Jam things up in front of the net. Lamb lets it go. He scores! Mark Lamb, with 55 seconds left, gets a power play goal for the Oilers, cutting the margin to 5-4.
Almost the identical spot that he got the goal early in the first period, or I should say late in the first period, excuse me. It's his second goal of the game here, playing catch with Yeri Curry. Finally stops it, and over the left arm of Hayward in the top right-hand corner. Almost the identical spot that he scored in the first period. And Mark Lamb, with his second of the game, third of the season, has brought the life back into the Edmonton Oilers. 57 seconds is all that remains in the hockey game. They're still down by one, but Lamb pumped a beautiful shot into the top of the net. Gary Curry and he, looking as though at one time they were trying to kill off the clock, passing it back and forth. No one seemed to want to do anything with it. A couple of Edmonton players getting pounded around in front of the net. And then finally Lamb unleashes a hard shot from a pretty tough angle, and Hayward again moved away from the goalpost.
Gary Curry given the only assist on Lamb's third goal of the season, second in tonight's game. 50 seconds remaining now. We look toward Fuhr as the Oilers come to center and dump the puck in, and Fuhr starts toward the Edmonton bench. Simpson in after it. The Oilers get the extra man on. Curry held the puck in, putting it round behind the net for Messier. Erickson, who can't center. Messier does. Put it out to the side of the net. It ends up in the mesh, and play is called.
Smart move by the referee, Andy Van Helleman, Jakes. A smart move. Why? Because he blew the whistle right away. The puck was up on the edge of the net near the goalpost where there's a lot of snow. Rather than let the players fight around there, probably knock the net off the post and get into some kind of a pushing duel, possibly a fighting duel, Van Helleman, recognizing the potential, blows the whistle. Grant Fuhr on the bench for the extra forward with 31 seconds remaining in the hockey game.
Hayward and Van Helleman talking things over.
Talking about the goal crease, Hayward was telling the referee a couple of players in his goal crease. He said, "I'll be watching that."
Now let's set up this situation for Edmonton. Simpson, Erickson, Curry, Messier, and Lamb up front with Anderson at the point. All six forwards on the ice for Edmonton. Guy Carbonneau to take the face-off. Keane and Walter, the other Montreal forwards. The puck went to Anderson. Across to Curry. Now to Anderson. Into Mark Messier. Centers one. It's steered onto the pads of Hayward. Loose in the goal mouth, and Walter digs it loose. Ryan Walter picks it up again, comes up the right side and dumps it down into the Edmonton zone, not far enough for icing. 12 seconds left. The Oilers can't get out of there as Keane broke up the original attempt. Now Lamb feeds it across with 6 seconds left. Anderson on right wing over the line. He shoots off Ludwig. It's loose. Ludwig gets a stick on it, and it's all over. The Montreal Canadiens hold on for a 5-4 victory over the Edmonton Oilers. Montreal, the Adams Division leaders, winning back-to-back games on home ice this weekend.